Okay, great. So before we launch an exercise, let's just do some sustained playing together. I'm going to give us that concert F reference track. So trumpets, that's your G. Mellows, it's your C. We're going to play that note with this reference track. If you have it at home, you can play it through your own source. Otherwise, I'll just give you a note. You'll see we're going down a half step, back up, down a full step, back up, down 1.5, back up till we get down to the low B flat, which is a C for trumpets, or the F for mellows. And we're just locking pitch, okay? If you can hear the reference track through this, my computer, great. If you want to play your own F tonic track that I sent out, you're welcome to do that too. Basics, quick reminder, posture is everything. So we're all standing. We want to make sure that as we're playing, even though we're not in a stadium right now, we want those bells just above level. And it's 2 full counts to breathe. Those of you who were with us last time, let me just show you a quick reminder, stepping back a bit. 2 full counts is belly before ribs, looks like this. Watch, 1, 2. Okay, watch side, 1, 2. All right, that's the expansion, belly ribs. And if you, as we play through this phrase, you're gonna stagger breathe because we're just gonna create a steady source of sound, pitch listening. As you breathe, you get softer before you take that breath. Belly ribs back in. Small stream of air without a tongue, crescendo back up to the level we were. So once again, we're going to start with the concert F. It's a G for trumpets, C for mellophones, down a half step, back up, whole step, back up, till we get down to the 5th below, which is again, low C for trumpets, low F for mellows. All right. So I'm going to set us up with our reference track and metronome. And you don't need to be muted for this. So I'll hear your sound because this is not, actually not, I'll do this without time first. Just do the sustained pitches without the track, okay? So this is, you can all listen to each other's sound and try and achieve relative blend on the speakers, okay? We ready? I'll give you 1, 2 belly ribs and we're starting in that concert F, lots of air. Here we go. Very good, relax. All right, couple quick things. First of all, trumpets. You're going to pull your slides out for 3 of those notes. What are those notes in order, trumpets? What's the first one to pull the slide out, trumpets?
E.
E, very good. E is the first one. What's the second one to pull the slide out for?
E flat.
The E flat probably doesn't need a slide out.
D.
And I'll tell you why in a second, Matthew. The D is correct as the second one and the third one.
C sharp. D.
Okay, so here's why, and I'll tell you why we don't necessarily with that third. So the major third, we pull it down. That E is gonna be, trumpet's gonna be out. Remember we talked about that last time, right? That's important that we drop that down. The D, that's contextual trumpets, okay? That's because of where we are at the reference track. The D, 1 and 3 is always sharp. We pull out about 1 centimeter. C sharp, always sharp, pull out about 2 centimeters. Okay, those are the 3 of those notes adjust. When in doubt, we're seeking resonance, the warmest spot. Your body will tell you to drop that down. Because of that interval, Matthew, that 2 and 3 is actually one we normally want to lip up slightly. So just letting our ears be our guide. But we know that 1 and 2, because of context again, and then 1 and 3 always, 1, 2, and 3 always slide out. Mellows, what are we sliding out?
B flat, A, and F.
B flat, yeah, a little bit. F a little bit. A, a lot. Okay, very good. All right, very good. So those are the notes we're gonna. So we just have to be able to hear those, and we're not just pressing buttons. If you weren't here last time, one of the key takeaways is these instruments again, they don't play in tune with themselves. So we have to make sure we find the most resonant spot for every note. Good. That said, number 1. Take a look at number 1 in your technique book. I'll play through this one. You guys will play with me, but you're going to mute this time because anything we do in time is not going to play in time over the computer. So you're going to have to mute yourselves. All right. But you listen to me as you play along in the Dr. Beat and a reference track. Okay. I'll leave it on the F. Welcome, Dan, if you can hear us. So number 1, let me tell you before we do number 1 is waiting for Dan to get set. And I'll sing the opening phrase on this one. It's really, really, really important that we breathe in time, play in time, release in time. Breathing in time, playing in time, releasing in time. All right. So I'm going to sing through the first phrase, and I'm going to accentuate those 3 elements: the breath, the da, the release, all in time. Okay. Here's my tempo reference. Here's my pitch reference. I'm going to sing. Sounds like this. 2, listen. 1, 2, breathe. Ha, 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 ha. Breathe, breathe. Ha, 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 ha. Breathe, breathe. Ha, 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 ha. To breathe and ha, 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 ha. Release. Ha, 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 release. Ha, 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 release. Ha, ta, 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 ta. Okay, and we just hold the last one. All right, good. So we're going to play that same series. But this is, again, a function of us really, 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 really important that we are breathing together to play together. We breathe together to play the first note. We breathe together to release the end of the note. Good ensembles start phrases together. Great ensembles end phrases together. This is not an exercise about buttons. It's not even an exercise about tone color or pitch or even resonance. It's an exercise about air. Okay? All right, together. Does everybody not have number 1? Okay, good. All right, I'm going to give you 2 reference again. Tempo, pitch. Please mute yourselves, but you'll play with me through number 1, okay? One, two, 1, 2. Good. Now, there's usually a delay, pretty significant delay between the sight and what you're hearing. However, all of the audio stimuli that you heard, the tonic track, the click track, and my sound should have been in alignment when you hear them, unless there's some kind of phasing or something delay with your respective laptops, phones, whatever you're using. Okay. So the goal here is that we blend with whatever those sources are, the pulse, the pitch, and then an example. All right. Now, that said, do we have any volunteers who want to do the same to guide us through exercise number 2? You'll be, again, to do this, you're going to have to be able to provide, please, just a tempo track on this one. I don't expect us to change pitch tracks through. So if you have a metronome, a pulse source, and you can guide us through number 2. Any volunteers?
Dave, I just want to let you know I can't play tonight because the dog that I'm dog sitting for, I played some notes and he was terrified. So
Exactly.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Is this like the dog ate my paper excuse?
No, I promise you, like I could just let him outside for a while, but he shays and it's awful.
Whose dog is this, Zachary?
It's my cousin's dog. He's a puppy.
Cousin's dog. Is this dog expendable?
Is he expensive? Well, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. All right. I'll get my trumpet, but just know, I'm telling him it's your fault.
All right. Who wants to volunteer got us through number 2? Jackson it is. All right, buddy, you're up. Actually, Jackson, I'm going to save you. James has the most beautiful smile. So they didn't go. James, you're up for number 2. Jackson, I'm going to hold you for 3, okay?
I don't know if you'll be able to hear the metronome with the microphone I'm using. Last time it didn't hear the external sound.
You might want to, Jackson, for this one, you could maybe just disconnect your trumpet mic and go old-fashioned for both.
It's going to be pretty bad quality, but I'll do it.
That's all right. We're just trying to align and listen, okay? Now, for everybody, before James goes for 2 and Jackson for 3, here's what we're doing. We're shaping the air. We're shaping the airstream. As I'm playing this, I'm starting in a medium tongue position. I'm dropping the tongue and the jaw, and I'm warming the sound in the bottom and then bringing that air back up to the top. So I get this. 2. And so forth. You'll notice I'm being very particular about the releases. On what beat are the releases? 4. Thank you, Matthew. Right on downbeat of 4. Not before, not after. D-ah, ha, ha, ha. Breathe. Da. Remember, we breathe together to play together, okay? So the release has got to be exactly on 4th of the series. Nice, warm, full airstream all the way through that line. All right, you guys up with James? So everybody's going to mute except James, and I'm going to mute myself, but I'm going to play along as well. Okay? James, when you're ready, you count us off. James, metronome and count us off.
Okay. One, two, 1, 2, 3.
Excellent. Very good, James. Okay, couple quick notes for everybody. This is review, but just to be clear, remember that 1 and 3 combination we talked about in the 1, 2, and 3. This is for every instrument when you get down that low. With the exception of the notes below the staff, they're sharp. You don't have to pull it back in the bottom. Just recognize that bottom note can actually go a little bit low. But when you get to 1 and 3, 1, 2, and 3, if you're not sure how to cross-check those with the slide, where the slide should be, you do it as a false fingering for the G, 1 and 3, and F sharp, 1, 2, and 3. So I'll give you this angle here. Here's my cross check. I'll play without the adjustment first. G. A false fingering would be here, but it's going to be sharp. So I have to get this to match this, which means I pull this slide up. Okay, that's pretty close. That's back to what I said. It's about 1 centimeter, okay, to pull up for that 1 and 3. The 1, 2, 3 combination, same thing, but the F sharp's a false fingering. That's what I want, and there we go. Just like I said, it's about 2 centimeters, about twice as far to get for the 1, 2, and 3. That's point number 1. Point number 2, mellows. Just a reminder, you're 4th below. So if I'm playing the G on the trumpet, same note is a C on the mellow. So if the trumpets are playing here, you're fourth below. So forth. In mellows in particular, when you get wicked low in the register there, like below the staff, you really have to drop the jaw, drop the lower lip, flatten the tongue. Everything in the mouth has to come open to get those notes to resonate. You see that difference in the angle? That's really important, especially mellows when you play that low. You rarely need to play that low, you know, in any kind of show or shorty material, but it's good to be able to do that. All right, excellent job, James. Jackson, my friend, you are up. Everyone else is going to be muted again. Jackson's taking us through number 3. Well, here's what you need to remember. Remember, trumpets, mellows are starting fourth below us. Trumpets, you're starting with a slide out, about 2 centimeters for that 1, 2, and 3. Bring the slide up to about 1 centimeter, and then the slide can, for the rest of these, ostensibly stay in. Mellows, it's the same thing. Some of you have 2 different options for what can be played on this one. So, for example, some have this. Release again on 4. Others have this. Again, releasing on 4. The critical thing is it's a steady stream of air. 2 full counts to breathe all the way through the line, shaping the airstream. This is an air exercise. It is not a tone or color exercise, even resonance. It's an air exercise. Use more air. Jackson, guide us, my friend. Here we go.
Dave? Hello? You guys want it at 120?
All you need is like a tempo on this one. We don't need the a pitch reference track. So if you have a metronome,
Do you guys want it at 120?
just try it.
Does that work?
Yeah, can you get the metronome a little closer to whatever your sound source is?
It's up here, so it's not like the laptop mic. It's this one.
All right,
You could
I'll
off the
take this
headset
one.
and put
I'll
it
take
near
this
the
one
metronome.
tonight, Jackson, until we figure it out, because I'm afraid we're gonna lose that track. Okay.
Yeah, I could change it to the external mic, but that's the trumpet one. So
Your call. Is that easier to do?
no, that
or-
one wouldn't pick up the metronome
Oh,
at all.
okay,
That's
got it.
why I switched it.
Okay, I'll
So
do this.
neither
one
of them
for
do.
tonight. I'll do it for tonight, Jackson. You take it next week, okay? All right, so you guys are gonna be muted. We're starting from the bottom. This should be plenty loud, I hope, for you. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's a little bit bright tempo, and I actually like that. Normally we'd start a little slower, but I want to trying to have an accelerated curve. Lift flexibilities, if you learn one exercise in brass playing, make it lift flexibilities, okay? That's the key to playing open throughout the whole register. So I played that like the last line as written, like. The philosophy is I start middle, I'm going down an octave, up a fifth, but I'm taking all that warm air from the bottom and I'm bringing it throughout the whole register. So I'm going to do that again, but pause in the bottom. The key to playing the upper register is having a good open low register, okay? If I did the same, the other line. I could pause in the top as well. And what I'm ostensibly doing is I'm starting in my middle comfortable register and I'm slowly in both directions opening up so I can move freely throughout the entire register. Okay, that's the goal. All right, good. Now, to the issue at hand, the task at hand this evening. Did you guys get the sample track I sent out? First Down Boston? Okay, I hope if you didn't get a chance, listen to it at some point. But tonight we're gonna do recording for shorties 1 and 2. All right, that's our goal tonight, and you're gonna send them to me, and I'm gonna put them all in one file. But I'm gonna talk and walk and show you through how to do that. All right. Firstly, most of you gave me sound samples, but not everybody. If you didn't, and if I didn't, or if you did but I didn't reply to you, let me know, because as we discovered, where you record, like the proximity of your bell to the microphone and the level you set is really important. So just kind of keep that in mind. Let's do a quickie look at GarageBand. Okay, some of you have GarageBand. Others using maybe Audacity. If you open up GarageBand, you're gonna get something that looks like this. You go to empty project, it's already set there. You choose, can you guys see this? Okay, choose empty project. So basically what I'm doing here is, I want to set this, I know the tempo's 144. So I go up here and I just move this up to 144. We're not doing any pitch correction things yet, but we know it's in B flat major, so you can put that in here in case we end up using that. This is the metronome tempo for me, okay? So I am going to play through this one, which means, oh, I'm sorry, that's the reverse. I want to play through this one, and I'm gonna record an audio too. So let's see if this goes well. Hopefully this goes well. You should hear when I press this red button for record, you'll hear 4 clicks, then it'll start moving with tempo and tonic. Let's see if that works. Good, all right? Now, I'm gonna do the same thing. I don't have my fancy mic set up, but I'm just gonna give us a rough go at this to show you how to do it. I'm gonna go back, make sure that's set at the beginning of the track. I'm gonna hit record again, and it's gonna give me the 4 clicks, and then wait for another 4 beats. You can actually wait 8, and wait as many as you want, frankly, and I'll show you how to trim it in a second. Record, and then play along shorty number 1, and then you just hit play again or stop, and it'll stop. So it'll go like this. All right, and I stopped the end of the file there. All right, now I want to go back and I want to hear that. So I'll mute this one. I'm going to take these clicks off. I need to hear them. And let's see. Now this, keep in mind that I've played that tonic and click track so you can all hear it. That's not going to happen when you do it, and I'll show you why in a second. But for now, you're going to hear what I just played with the tonic and click, because that all went through the same system, okay? So that's really important. I'm only doing this as a demo for now. But I play this, and we get... Okay, so that's just a rough sample, and I'll show you how we can edit that in a second. But I don't really want the tonic and click in it. So I take that out. I'll go back to my first one. I'm going to put my earphones in, and you guys are going to do this too with your own, your earphones, earbuds, whatever you have. This is going to affect, I think, how I sound to you, so I'm not going to plug it in until just before I start. But the earphones are going to go in, and I'm going to set up the system exactly the same way as before. So it's going to be down here for the recording. I want to hear this played. See if this works. This time, theoretically, when I start it, you shouldn't hear the tonic or click, but you should hopefully hear me. Okay, now I'll go back. Sorry. Now I go back. And I just want to hear this. I want to mute this rather, excuse me. I want to hear this one. And if this will work, let's see. Okay, now I want to show you something on this. If you're watching, if this is live, hopefully you can see where I'm circling now. Can you guys see that? I'm talking, that's the levels. People think, oh, you should only be the green or below. That's not true. You actually want it to be into this yellow. You just don't want it pinned at the red, okay? Now, that wasn't even using my external mic. My external mic's way better than this, but it's okay. The sound, as I play it back for you, okay, that's maybe flirting a little bit with the disaster, but you can hear it's not distorted. If it were distorted, the whole thing would be pinned up there. So your goal is to get it just above this zone. That's going to be sort of the rich zone for sound. You got to experiment with a bit. The way you do it is down here. Can you guys see this, the record level? If you, okay, so that's important. I have it around the OM area. You can move it wherever you want. But if I turn it up, the gain's going to be loud. If I turn it down, it's going to be too soft. So you got to find the right spot. Most of you, I gave you comments. Most of you are pretty close to that as it is. Okay. So that's it. That's all you're going to do. The easy thing for me, if you could, when you're done with it, is to align it with the clicks. And I can show you how to do that later. But for now, all I'm going to do is just trim this. I don't need all that extra stuff. I don't want to cut off the beginning and the end. And I do want to hear a little bit of resonance, leave a little bit at the end, but it's just going to take up data. I don't need to do that. Command logic like this. Like that. And then if I do the same, if I just play it back, I just move this over in the end here, play it back, what it sounds like. Oh, I'm going to try to go back to the beginning. Okay, and I'm releasing on one. Bop, just like the exercise at the beginning. Breathe together, play together. Okay? All right, good. Now, I'm going to get us back to the Zoom briefly and stopping the share. Okay, good. I can come back to that and kind of walk us through it again. I know some of you have different software, but that's probably the easiest way to do it. And if we can standardize how we do it, moving forward, it's going to get a lot easier. Everything is going to get easier as we go. That's why I was talking these little small, bits and phrases of music. So now, first of all, two things. Firstly, I'm going to see if there's any questions. And then secondly, we're all going to mute and we're going to record shorty number one. And then we'll play some back to share it so we can all hear it. But are there any questions before we kind of break into our separate sessions here?
Dave, I have a question.
Yep, Zachary, go ahead.
How do you want these files submitted to you? Do you want them as a wave or
Great question. I forgot to mention that. Okay, so let me go back to GarageBand. Thank you, Zachary, for mentioning that. And I'm gonna pull you guys up and screen share one more time. Okay, when you're ready, after you have the file the way you want, make sure again there's no clicks coming through. You got to unselect these, and this is muted, so we don't hear that go through. It's this track. You can even delete this if you wanted, but the good news is we can actually check each gradient here is a beat. So, bum, 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 bum. See that, how it lines up underneath? So if it's out of time, you can actually trim that before. So for example, let's say hypothetically, let's say, you know what? I was a little late on that last note. I could actually go up here. See where I am here? I could go up here just on that last note and say it was a little bit late or whatever. I can actually go to edit. Can you guys still see this? It's getting a little advanced, but you don't have to necessarily do this. But split regions of playhead. And then I could, if it's a little bit late, I can move it forward. But the tricky thing in here, if you do that, these edits, you want to make sure that where you're crossing the line, it's the same. You don't want to cross it like, for example, I wouldn't want to splice like this, that sound wave in, because I would hear a click. Okay? You want the sound waves whenever you're doing any editing. And that's probably more than you need to worry about. But if you are familiar with it and you want to try and do some quick edits, that's one option. There's also a flex time option, but we don't need to tackle that yet either. Okay? Anyway, back to the question at hand. Let me just undo, drag, undo, split regions. Back here so we can see the whole thing. Terrific. Now, to Zachary's question, share. You go up under share. And you can export the song to disk. And this is important because the way we save it is going to affect the quality. Right here, AIFF is what we're looking for. Don't save as an AAC or MP3. These are both compressed files. Save as an AIFF. And did we say what we're going to do last time for try and standardize this? Let's just do it by like trumpet. What was that? I was actually kind of hybridized that part. I don't even know what it was. I'll just say, it's not really two, but I'll say trumpet 2. First down, Healy. Oh, it's going on anyway. Okay. And then you send, so you don't write Healy, you write your own name in there, right? Okay. Your instrument, the shorty, and your name. Okay. And then you export it. It'll save it. This right now is saving in GarageBand. If you want, you could do it on like desktop or someplace else, whatever you want, and export. I'm not going to export because I'm not going to use this one, but you get the idea. All right. That was a good question, Zachary. Anybody else have questions on that? All right. Very good. So let's take a few minutes.
Wait, sorry, I have a quick question.
Yep. Sorry about that, Henry. Go ahead.
What does it matter like what part we play, whether it's first, second, or third?
Right. We do have distributions that we were thinking about. And Zachary, did you share those yet with everybody? Zachary, are you there? We lost Zachary to the dog.
Sorry, yeah, no, the dog is long gone. He might be hightailing up the highway right now.
Okay, you can't blame me for that. I was having the dog in the house anyway.
What are you talking about? Oh, he's
They let the dog go.
no. He probably found us. He was in so much pain. He probably just jumped out a window. Anyways, so new members probably just play third. Sachin probably have you on second if you feel comfortable with that. But
Jackson the first.
yeah, Jackson first. He knows that. Yeah, so new members play third unless you're Sachin.
Okay, good. If anybody else feels the part's either too difficult or too easy, recognize we're trying to do this for balance first and foremost, but I want everybody to be challenged at a good level. All right, that said, now let's take some time because they still want to get another shorty done tonight. So let's take the next, shouldn't be more than 5 minutes. Let's take 5 minutes to get a take through of shorty number 1 with that or a similar process, whatever works for you. Save the file and email the file to me, please. Go.
Metronome at 144 for this one.
4 is correct. Yep. And mute yourselves while you do it, please.
You should have just gotten mine, Dave.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. It looks like everyone's got it. Oh, Heidi's still going. You okay? And actually, and that's okay. So and this goes to everybody. The good news is, and this is why we're starting with small pieces. You know, you get a take you're not happy with, it doesn't matter. You do it again. If you're playing through the thing and for whatever reason it's not what you want, just click the same material, exit out. Or if it's an okay take, keep it. I'm going to wait to get the better one. You just do that plus button. It gives you another track down there. Record as many as you want and just eliminate the ones you don't like and send the one you do. All right. We're deliberately starting with real small pieces to make it manageable. So send those if you haven't yet. I'm going to transition now to the second shorty. Okay. And I'll go through style on this one because it's really important in addition to back to the recording process. I'm pretty particular about phrasing, new members. I'm very particular about phrasing, okay? So like da, do, dee, phrasing, like the syllables that we use matter a lot. So if I'm playing the trumpet part, I have this. It's da, do, dee, do, dee, da, dee, da. It's really important, those last eighth, everybody hear me, right? Is there like a thumbs up? Can you guys hear? Okay, good. The last eighth notes in the first, second measure trumpets are separated with a tongue. That's a marcato. That's a tense eighth note. And it's really important you hold that full value, that last note. This is going to be an F reference track for us. By the way, mellows. Okay, that's your line. Both cases we're going to repeat. So play this one with the repeat, please, okay? I've started. I'll do a quick screen share to show you what you're going to do in this one because you're going to set up in GarageBand essentially the same way. And as you were doing your the previous one, I went and plugged these in here. So here we are. Here's the difference in settings. I changed my tempo to 84. I want to hear these clicks in here to prompt me, so they're going to be made purple. I moved the F tonic track in here, not the B flat. We're on the F now, okay? I'm going to trim it. You can go into this, doesn't matter. slide it all the way over so it starts with us. That's going to be, actually, that's going to be played through your earphones. And you're going to click on this one because that's what it's going to record. That's important. If you're clicked up here and you hit record, it's going to record over the F tonic. You don't want that. So click in here. Remember, you got a plus arrow to create that separate one. And that's what you're going to play. Okay. So for example, you're going to hear the click from me again. Let's sing through that together because I want to make sure we get the right phrasing. Trumpets, mute yourselves. You're going to sing with me. I'm going to give us the tonic track. And I'll sing the right phrasing, and you got to make sure you match my singing for phrasing. All right, trumpets, sing with me. 2, 1, 2, 3, then breathe. Da do do dee, do 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 ee, da 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 dee da da ee, da ee, da ee, da ee, da do do dee. Da 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 ee da ee da ee da ee da. Good. Here's the thing about that one. You got to hold the last note 2 full beats. So you got 1 da ee da ee da ee da ee. Listen, da. Full value on that. Okay, that's really important. Good. Any questions before you start that one? All right, very good. With repeat, tonic track is F, tempo is 84. Go, go, gadget legs. Okay, I'm going to jump in only because I just saw Heidi and Connor put their horns down, so I'll take a quick break here. If you're happy with the files as they are, if they align with the pulse and the tonic, like they're in tune, they're in time, you just save as with the information and send it off. If you want to record it later, you can do that. This is just to kind of give you a sense of what we're looking for and how to do it. That's it. What we're looking for, how to do it. This whole process is going to be on that factory model I told you, like quality in at every step is going to make quality out. So it is important that we put our best work into this. The good news is, as I said, they're just such small snippets that we're going to be piecing together. Everything from now through camp is just shorties. There's only 4 more shorties in the next couple of weeks. I've allocated 1 additional week between the end of these sessions and the start of camp so we can do a catch-all. We might also want to do tutorials for GarageBand or Audacity if people want to learn more about it. Much of the season, I expect, is going to be built at least to a large extent this way, all right? Which I actually think is cool because there's so much we can do. Once we get the sound files in, just for high brass sounds, for full ensemble sounds, for mixing with technological sounds, like techno sounds musically, for sending files over to athletics, visa games, for sending media on using social media. So just at the beginning, just scratching the surface. Okay, so that was the goal for tonight, to get those first 2 done. Next week, we're looking at shorties 3 and 4. These are sort of thematic. They're both from Carmina Burana. It's the introductory shorty, and then one of the sort of main themes of Fortuna Imperatrix Mundi. So you're welcome to look ahead at those. At this point, we should be playing, at least a few times a week. If you can even pick that horn up 15 minutes a day, like part of your morning routine, that'd be great. Just so we can have that kind of scrutiny that we're going to need to have in these recordings. All right. Any questions on the recording that we did tonight? Is anybody proficient in GarageBand who would like to maybe do a tutorial for others? Zachary, do you want to maybe either put together some recording, or if you'd like, I can allocate time during one of these sessions, whatever you prefer. I think you're muted.
I can do a recording. I'll figure something out, and I'll just send it to you.
Let's do that. We'll put it in our library so folks are comfortable. And I don't want anything crazy on this. All we're doing is like basically what I outlined, and then quick edits if they need to.
Yeah, sure.
Next time thing, that might be one you include, but certainly, breaking a file to move notes up or down for pulse, that would be helpful.
Can you also get someone to do that for Audacity too? Because that's not as, I don't think, as user-friendly.
No,
Yeah.
I agree, Matthew.
I'm not seeing the option to export from Audacity in the format that you asked for.
Okay, that's a great point, and I don't know in Audacity how to do that. It might be either as a save as, or a share, or export.
Well, I can see all the export options, but that isn't one of the options.
Or AIF is not an option, you mean? Is WAV an option, WAV?
Yeah.
Use Wave. Yeah, great question, Jackson. Wave and AIFs are essentially saying they're uncompressed files. We don't want to do MP3s or M4As.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you for catching that, Jackson. All right, very cool. All right, any other questions? All right, I'll let us go because it's 9. Great work. I look forward to hearing the samples. I will get them back to you. I'll stitch them together in GarageBand, and it's not going to be the clean product yet. I'm just telling you because we have different interpretations, but this is what's going to help us. It's going to propel us to make improvements as we go. That's why we're doing this, and we can double back once we learn the systems. It literally takes 30 seconds to record the bum 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 beep bum bum bum, both hitting start, hitting stop, exporting the whole thing. So we'll get better and more efficient as we go. I'll hang out in case someone does have questions. Otherwise, I will see you all next week. Right? All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, be good.
Thanks, Dave.
All right. Thank you. I'll work
you.
to troubleshoot and I'll see what I can come up with.